Andy Warhol once said, "In the future, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes." And I believe that to be true. We have regular people like you and me going viral every day. The "y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband" guy, that young boy who yodeled in Walmart, and recently the adorable corn kid that keeps getting brand deals. You might even remember the heroic homeless hitchhiker that went viral in 2013 for smashing a criminal in the act with a hatchet. Now, a lot of these people went on to great things like commercials, sponsorships, brand deals, concerts, you name it, while others went to nothing. But no one would expect a viral sensation to become a cold-blooded killer just 3 months after appearing on Jimmy Kimmel. This is the story of Kai the Hatchet-Wielding Hitchiker. Not the hash-slinging slasher. My name is Kayla, and this is Cauldron Convos, baby. Hit that smoke. Not too much. Not too much. Oh, actually, I was going to say we're not going to have the smoke machine for the next podcast, but there'll be other things involved. I don't know. Now I have to figure out those things because I don't have it figured out yet. If you are a returning subscriber, oh my god, thank you so much. If you are new here to this channel, please hit that subscribe button because we post here every single week, actually twice a week now. And next episode of Cauldron Convos will be in a new place. So in this podcast, we're going to be talking about who Kai is, who was he before the viral video, what made him famous, what was the aftermath of the fame, and then obviously the murder, or, well, allegedly.
Or presumed self-defense, maybe.
Yeah, who knows. The case, the jail time, and recently, the new Netflix documentary. So Kai Lawrence, later identified as Caleb Lawrence Mcgillvary, was born in 1988 and is from Alberta, Canada. And Kai left his Alberta home just as a teenager and made his way to the world as a hitchhiker, which is a little bit of an unconventional, not traditional life as a teenager. I feel like leaving home at a young age to be a hitchhiker. I mean, not homeless, he would tell people. Home free. And honestly, like,
that's pretty deep.
Yeah. He has hitchhiked through and across states and countries. He's slept under bridges, tunnels, walked over mountains and across borders, slept in vans, boats. Did I already say vans and boats? No, I said bridges. Whatever. He slept everywhere.
Couches.
Even your mama's bed.
Kai was hitchhiking per usual one night in March, and he slept alongside Route 99 in California. A black Oldsmobile pulled up next to Kai, offering him a ride. The driver of the car was Jet Simmons McBride, a 54-year-old larger guy, nearly 300 pounds. Kai and Jet talked about God, Walmart, numerology, and when they got into the city, Jet even gave Kai $40 to buy weed.
Ooh, that's a lot of weed.
Sounds like a nice guy. But this Jet guy was kind of acting a little bit odd, and Kai picked up on this. He actually had just thrown away his cell phone, left his dog on the side of the road, so neither of them could be used to trace him.
I wonder who has the dog now. Oh, do you think it's dead?
Probably 2013. I mean,
okay, well,
depends how old it was.
But in addition to throwing away his phone and his dog, what kind of guilty by, it looked like he also hadn't slept or ate for weeks. In addition to that, he was saying some pretty crazy things about R-wording a 9-year-old girl in the Virgin Islands, crying to Kai, explaining this, saying that he's Jesus, all this pretty crazy stuff. And this is where things got crazy. Jet told Kai, "You know what? I'm Jesus Christ. Watch this," and drove his car into a man, pinning him against a truck. Kai then got out, tried helping the injured man. 2 other women are also trying to help the injured man, but Jet gets out of the car, this guy that picked him up, starts screaming racial slurs, pulled one of the women that was trying to help away, tried kissing her, assaulting her, basically, proclaimed to be Jesus Christ. And this is when Kai saves the day. This is what makes him famous and go viral. He runs up to Jet and smashed his head with a hatchet multiple times. Now, that was a short version of what happened. That was, a little summary. Smash. But that was nothing compared to Kai himself telling the story.
Watch this, bam, and he smashed into this fucking guy right there, pinned him in between that fucking truck. And so I hop out, I look over, the guy's pinned there. I mean, like, freight train riders know this. Like,
who's a freight train ride? All you freight train riders watching.
A proper hobo.
Like, just jumping on the back, like the Polar Express guy with the hot cocoa thing on the top, the sock. I don't even remember.
Buddy gets out, and these two women are trying to help him. He runs up and he grabs one of them, man. Like a guy that big can snap a woman's neck like a pencil stick. So I fucking ran up behind him with a hatchet. Smash, smash, smash. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? F is cool. That guy ain't. Shit. Kai.
Kai, can I get spelling for you?
Straight out of Dogtown. K-A-I.
K-A-I, do you have a last name?
No, bro. I don't have anything.
How old are you?
I can't call it.
I can't call it.
And if I hadn't have done that, he would have killed more people. So, he's dead. Good.
Good.
What's next for you, Kai?
Hopefully some surfing. If anybody's watching this somewhere else and they got a mini Mal that they could lend a guy with a wetsuit, I'd love to test out Mavericks.
Okay, I think that's it for now.
It's interesting.
It's obviously super funny. Like, I literally watched this 3 times laughing
He's a
hysterically.
character.
But then I read later on that Kai doesn't know why he's being funny. Like, he doesn't understand, like, the social cues of it. So it's kind of sad because, like, people laugh about it. It's so odd to us the way he's behaving in it. But I don't think he realizes. Like, he's not doing it to be funny. That's, like, his personality. Also, I think it's so funny that the interviewer, this was his first time covering breaking news. He was filling in because he usually did sports. This was his first interview. Like, how iconic. He probably got a raise. You think he got a raise?
Hope so.
I also think it's funny to note that despite the story of the video being, like, you know, it's not funny. Someone was actually severely injured. A mentally ill man was screaming racial slurs at someone. The concept of behind the video wasn't funny, but that none of that was, like, covered. It was just how funny this guy in the interview was. And even everything that happened in the minutes that followed, McBride, the criminal, would still say Kai was the coolest son of a bish he ever met. If things had gone differently, he said he could have imagined adopting him like a son. From the video, Kai does seem like a pretty cool guy, and Jet and I aren't the only ones, clearly, that thought about it because it went viral.
Yeah, millions and millions of people.
And Kai received invitations to 13 different countries. Every news program basically wanted Kai on. Obviously, he was hard to get in touch with. I don't know if he had a phone, but via email, the interviewer, Rysbeck, met up with Kai at a restaurant to go over all the offers that Kai was getting because, you know, Rysbeck kind of took him in as the interviewer.
Under his wing.
Kind of nice, yeah. This was just 3 to 4 days after the video went up. And Rysbeck noted the producers of Keeping Up with the Kardashians even wanted to do a reality show with Kai.
That'd be a good show. I think
know.
like
I would watch him.
A train surfing show would be so cool.
Yeah, I would have watched him vlog.
Though.
Or just like vlogging hitchhiker guy.
Who just interviews the people that's a good podcast concept.
Yeah.
Hitchhikers podcast.
They get in the car and you interview them?
Yeah. No, you get in someone else's car and you interview them.
Oh. I thought we were just picking up hitchhikers.
No.
Picking up Polar Express man on the train.
I don't think there are enough hitchhikers to pick up.
That's true.
I don't think I've ever seen a real hitchhiker.
But, like, the person that did the podcast, they would have to be, like, ripped.
Or just carry a gun or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
No. And according to Rysbeck, Kai said he would throw a pencil up in the air, and if it landed one way, he was going to go and potentially make millions of dollars. He was going to be a reality TV star and do all of these deals. But if it landed the other way, he was going to go smoke weed in San Francisco. The pencil hit the table, and Kai stated, well, I'm going to go smoke some weed. And left. Isn't that crazy?
I like this guy, but you can kind of tell that he's a little bit unwell.
Yeah. But also it's interesting because if that happened to me, if I was just a hitchhiker and I went viral, I would take that as a sign from the universe that, like, oh, I'm meant to do this. But nope, he would just throw up a pencil and was like, okay. Somehow Rysbeck got Kai to do just one appearance that he did on Jimmy Kimmel, as I said before. And he got him to do it by promising him a limo full of weed.
What does that mean?
What?
What does a limo full of weed mean?
Like a stretch limo? Imagine how much weed could fit in a stretch
Millions.
limo. Wait, wasn't it illegal? Was weed illegal in 2013
Probably.
in California?
I don't know. Google it.
Well, whatever. It's Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel. Why can't I say his name? Jimmy Kimmel can get weed for anyone in California in 2013. Actually, I'm not saying that. That's just a joke. In case Jimmy Kimmel's lawyers decide to come after my huge channel.
2016, it became legal.
Oh, wow. How is he getting this weed?
Jimmy
Incriminating.
Kimmel, yeah.
Incriminating. So on February 11th, 2013, just 10 days after the video was uploaded, Kai was on Jimmy Kimmel, one of the most popular talk shows in the world, obviously. And the video features Kai next to Kimmel in a car, you know, because he's a hitchhiker. Kimmel asked Kai questions like, "You don't want to have a home, correct?" In which Kai replied, "What the hell are you talking about? I am home." Again, with the snaps. And at the end of
He's never not home.
Yeah, he's always home. He's a hitchhiker.
That's working from home.
Ooh, he started remote work.
True.
Mm-hmm. And at the end of the show, Kimmel gave Kai a surfboard and a wetsuit, which, honestly, so cute.
Take it straight back to Dogtown.
So there were now Kai memes, there were GIFs, so many videos on the internet, Facebook fan pages, fan Twitter accounts like Dogtown Kai, Hatchet Guy Kai, and Not the Fake Kai. There were Kai the Hitchiker buttons. I heard some woman was knitting Kai dolls or something crazy. There was even February Valentine's Day cards that read, "I must ask you a question and don't smash my heart."
There are shirts that say smash, smash, smash.
Gregory Brothers sampled the interview and turned it into a song. In Canada, people that knew Kai described Kai as outgoing enough to down at a table full of strangers, but so unruly that he'd been kicked out of every drinking establishment in this town. In California, Kai rode his skateboard through the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. He also apparently smashed a plate on the floor yelling "Opa" during a lunch at an upscale restaurant with TV executives. He urinated on Julio Iglesias' star on the Hollywood
Who
Walk
is that?
of Fame. I feel like it's like Julio Iglesias.
I thought it's
and he's a
Enrique.
singer. Oh, that is Enrique. Is Julio his little brother?
Maybe it's his older brother. Or his father. Maybe it's a family business.
Wow, the Iglesias Walk of Fame.
We could easily Google this, but let's just not. It's funnier.
He also left a backpack with everything he owned outside of the hotel for someone else to take, telling Reisbeck, "Look where I'm staying tonight. Someone definitely needs that more than me. Because I'm straight out of dog." No, he didn't
That's
say
just like a show at this point. Like, he's just putting a show on. Like, oh, look at how hippie I am.
that. But he was just showing this guy. Like, you think his whole life No, I don't think he's just manipulating and, like, making this character. I think he really is like that.
Damn.
He's a hitchhiker.
Especially the type of guy you'd meet at a dead show.
Oh, yeah.
They would like offer you a white powder.
Oh, don't take the white powder.
Don't take white powder that's free. Because it won't be free.
Reisbeck, the interviewer, has stated, "You don't understand what it's like to hang out with this guy. You're trying to keep him out of trouble, you're trying to keep an eye on him, and you're trying to keep yourself out of trouble because he does things that are just off the wall. He completely lives by the beat of his own drum." I haven't heard that expression in a while.
Something my mom would say.
Something like in a sneakers commercial or like a tampon commercial. You go by the beat of your own drum. Tampax. Now it appears that life is going pretty well for Kai on Jimmy Kimmel, you know, getting free weed. People are offering weed to him on the streets. People that notice him are offering him to stay in their house with him. But, you know, things took a dark turn.
Just 3 months after appearing on Jimmy Kimmel, Kai hitchhiked to Times Square.
And I feel like this shows who he really is. Like you were just saying, you think that it might be a show. He literally could have done all of these deals, made so much money, gone on all of these interviews, but instead he hitchhiked to Times Square. He could have bought a house. He could have bought an RV. He could have bought a van. In New York, he met a man named Joseph Galfi, who was a lawyer. And do you want to tell us a little bit about what happened here? This dark story?
So Joseph offered Kai to come over to his house, and Kai did. And he actually stayed at his house in Clark, New Jersey for 2 nights on Monday, May 13th. Joseph's paralegal noticed Joseph Galfi didn't show up for work and wasn't answering his phone. That same day, Kai posted on social media writing, "What would you do if you woke up with a groggy head, metallic taste in your mouth in a stranger's house, and started retching, realizing that someone had drugged and raped you?" Joseph Galfi was found nearly naked and beaten to death with one of his ears almost completely removed from his head and fractures to multiple parts of his body. Kai almost immediately became the main person of interest after texts were uncovered from Joseph's phone as well as social media posts that Kai had made. 3 days later, Kai was arrested in a Greyhound station in Philadelphia after someone noticed him in a coffee shop. He was likely easily spotted because of his recent internet fame as well as a giant face tattoo that he had gotten.
Hey, but he did try to chop off his hair to conceal his identity. So even though he was famous and had a giant face tattoo, I think the haircut really was going to stop him from noticing. Like, put concealer on that.
Yeah.
Kai. And Kai told police that he blacked out and woke up to find Golfi assaulting him. Said he fought just hard enough to escape, but had no idea that he had killed him. Kai was then held in jail for 6 years.
Most of which he was held in solitary confinement and complete segregation for 23 hours a day. And this is where I begin to criticize the criminal justice system.
Yes, that's horrible.
This is wrong, regardless of circumstances.
And he had attempted suicide at least once.
Let's jump forward to the trial. After 6 years of waiting.
Yes, after 6 years of waiting, Kai would be tried for murder in New Jersey in April of 2019. He came into the first day of court in a dark suit and tie, his hair hanging loose past his shoulders, and the judge actually said some pretty shocking things that I was kind of appalled by during court, such as, "It is obvious that he plays to the media. He's obsessed with it. I've never seen anything quite like it. Quite honestly, and for his own sake, I am removing that intoxicant so that he can focus on the matters at hand." This is when he was referring to the fact that Kai could not mention that he had internet fame at all during the whole trial.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that this guy doesn't seem like he knows Kai whatsoever. How Kai did not want internet fame, did not want to be on Jimmy Kimmel, had to be convinced.
But are judges allowed to just say whatever they want about the character of the person?
Yeah, and then it sways a jury.
But has nothing to do with the actual case. Him being obsessed with the media. Okay, cool. That's how is that relevant?
The criminal justice system is very
corrupt.
Yeah.
Whenever Kai got close to mentioning the viral video or just kind of referencing his internet fame, the judge, Kirsch, immediately shut it down. And the court did hear that Kai had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but his lawyer said Kai didn't want his mental health to be considered as a defense, except for his PTSD relating to his previous assault as a teenager. But I think it's important that he did mention his PTSD relating to his assault as a teen, because I think people with PTSD, if they're getting assaulted again and they had a traumatic event happen to them, especially as a kid, I feel like you sometimes even black out. I mean, not that it justifies killing someone.
A lot coming to light in PTSD and sexual assault in general in the last couple years, particularly.
Yeah. Here comes Judge Kirsch again. He noted Kai was fit to stand trial, saying he may be difficult, he may be obstructive, he may be disingenuous, he may be crafty, shrewd, manipulative, etc., but he is quite clearly competent.
Sit
How could
down,
he say all
Shakespeare.
those things? That's horrible. Okay, say one adjective, mean adjective. All of those things? That's crazy. Anyway, Kirsch also denied Kai's request to fire his lawyer and represent himself, and Kai's lawyer did raise some pretty good questions about the police investigation, including why drinking glasses in the home weren't examined for drug residue, why blood in the semen swab taken from Golfi's body wasn't tested for DNA, and why police didn't perform a rape kit on Kai after his arrest.
So after Kai's arrest, I believe he actually asked for a rape kit, and they denied it.
Yes.
Which is...
bad. Illegal.
Yeah.
Illegal according to New Jersey law, I read.
Yeah, well,
obviously.
On that alone, I mean...
Yeah, and we have some discussion questions that we're going to go through later, such as if this was a woman, would the outcome be the same? Or whatever, we'll talk about it. But it's just crazy that they didn't even give him his right to a rape kit.
Yeah, and I think that during the trial, Kai kind of presented himself, you know... He would interrupt his attorney. He tried to fire his attorney to represent himself, which was eventually denied by the court. So there's a lot of chaos involved.
Yeah.
So that
they threatened to. You said they threatened to remove him.
Yes.
Yeah, but also he was in solitary confinement and he was in jail for 6 years before this.
Yeah, that's.
It's and clearly, okay, fine. Yeah, he's competent. Yes, he said he has bipolar disorder, but he didn't want that to be part of the trial, and he has PTSD. But I feel like that should, defend a little bit of the interrupting, if you're mentally ill,
more to this.
If you're mentally ill and interrupting in the courtroom, okay, give the guy a break,
I think the judge is there to mediate, to ensure that everything that's being said is relevant to the case.
Yeah.
However, this seems interesting
because
the judge is almost making it irrelevant to the case.
And also the judge is a judge in New Jersey, and Golfi was an attorney in New Jersey, and there's some kind of stuff that I read in an article, but we're not sure if it's
about the judge's son being involved in sexual assault in some capacity.
But I also read that other judges were originally assigned, but they had to be removed because they knew Golfi. like multiple different
Yeah.
times, and there was just like always something weird going on with like being an attorney. Like
There's
I feel
something fishy between the attorney that was murdered with the judges sitting on the bench, as well as this judge being involved in prior sexual assault charges in his family and then not taking it as seriously.
But Kai stated that the police claimed the sexual encounter was consensual and the murder premeditated. However, Kai said that after the viral video in California, he had no need to have sex with men like Golfi, whom Kai described as unattractive, stating, "Do you know how many hot chicks, never mind, even if I was gay, do you know how many hot guys wanted to F me after that shiz in California? I'm not even being vain. It's just a fact. Like, no offense, but he was not a looker."
Oh my God.
Like, things like that, a little out of pocket, but like...
Yeah, I think that's his personality.
I think that's his personality,
unfortunately.
yeah. He was sentenced essentially on May 30th, 2019 to 57 years in prison. And the judge didn't stop at the first, disses that he gave. He stated, "You created this public image of a surfing free spirit, unshackled by the constraints of materialism and consumption. But underneath that free spirit, the jury saw another side of you," Kurz said during his sentencing. "You are a powder keg of explosive rage, a cold-blooded, calculated, callous killer." Kai will be eligible for parole around 2061 when he is about 72 or 73 years old. Granted, this happened when he was 24 years old, which by complete coincidence, this is what the judge said, is still younger than Mr. Golfi when you murdered him. When he was able to speak, Kai said that he had been wrongfully convicted by a system both corrupt and stacked against him, stating, "This has been nothing but a sham trial, and you have railroaded an innocent man," he said. "Shame on you." Which seems pretty reasonable to say.
It does.
Like, that seems coherent. It wasn't like, "Screw you, man. You sleeping with Golfi." I don't know. After the murder charges, the video views obviously increased significantly. Fans of the video who considered Kai a hero for saving the woman actually raised a legal fund for him. A lot of people were saying, like, "Free Kai," making shirts. There's a Facebook group, even still now, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But in January of 2020, Inside Edition released an interview of Kai while he was in jail. And in this video, Kai still claims he is innocent. I'm not going to watch it just for the sake of time, but I did want to highlight a few of the comments on the video because I think it's interesting to see like the public opinion of what people are saying. Someone 4 months ago wrote, "As a young hitchhiker, I had older men try to pick me up off the streets and do similar things. I 100% believe him." Another comment with 1,200 likes said, "I really feel for Kai. Clearly had a hard life and needs a break." Another person with almost 5,000 likes said, "I believe his story. He appears to be having a trauma response when he's describing what happened during the assault. His face is getting flushed, he's breathing heavier, and he gets very jumpy. Also, we know from his first viral video his natural response to danger is actually fight instead of flight because he stepped in to save that woman. I don't know why people don't believe him, to be honest." No matter what Kai's done, he deserves respect. Even if he makes mistakes, he's lovable. He's worthwhile. No one can ever take that away from him. Honestly, for full circle.
Yeah,
Full circle with that interview. And on July 3rd of 2021, he posted on Facebook writing that he hoped that the appellate judges would be heroes and overturn the conviction. With the help of his followers on the Facebook group, Kai was able to get some legal funding to go to court and try to appeal his conviction. However, unfortunately, in August of 2021, just a month later, they denied the motion. There is going to be a Netflix documentary releasing just a few days after this video on January 10th, and it's called The Hatchet-Wielding Hitchiker. And I think it'll be interesting to see kind of how Netflix portrays him, if they portray him as innocent, guilty, if they don't even really touch mostly on that, if they mostly touch on like the rise to fame and just do like a little ending like, now he's in jail, or this was the trial, now he's in jail. But I first thought maybe like this will get him out of jail. Like maybe he's working with Netflix. Maybe they're going to help him. Maybe he'll get some funding. Kai recorded conversations he had with the Netflix producers, and they're not giving him anything for this whole documentary, which I think is wrong.
He should definitely be getting something at least.
Yeah, so he recorded it.
Netflix does know that you're making this film with or without my permission. Like they're aware of this.
That's Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they know that the film is about me and my personality and my life story, right? Like, they know the film is about me, right? Yes, I do. If someone made a movie about O.J. Simpson's football career, you better believe he'd be making bank off it. And he wrote a book about killing his wife. Bill Cosby got royalties for The Cosby Show, was sitting in prison for rape, and he was raping women from that very show between sets.
It's true.
I'm trying to feel like you're busting my balls here, trying to get me to sign with you, and really, like, you aren't offering
Now we're at the discussion kind of part of this podcast where we're going to be talking about, one, is Kai innocent? And just to note that the two hosts on this podcast have no legal training. So take this with a grain of salt. This is just our opinions. This is like previous history of assault, and that he's also written on social media previously about being sexually and physically abused as a child, and his mom even said it in an interview that happened. And his mom wasn't at the courtroom because Kai didn't want her to be there. And in an interview, which was a follow-up story that Rysbeck originally did on Kai, it was Getting to Know Kai, the Truth Behind the Hero. Kai recounted experiences Rysbeck described in the segment as darker and more gut-wrenching than you can imagine. That conversation and the other times they spent together made it clear to Rysbeck that Kai had some dark places and a particular animosity for people who take advantage of others. His mood could change quickly and drastically. Rysbeck knew if someone got into Kai's space or if he even felt they overstepped, things could go very badly. Kai sometimes talked about being a vigilante and going after pedophiles. In an interview with a California radio station, Kai talked about being sexually assaulted as a teenager, stating, "I realized I'd never let something like that happen to me again. I'd rather die than let something like that happen to me again." Is there any law stating like self-defense can only be taken to a certain point? Self-defense, like you have a gun, you shoot the person.
Yeah, there are laws about it.
You can't, but how do you know exactly where you're going to aim?
Well, like if they're
like if
running
you accidentally kill someone.
you can go to jail. So say you shoot them in the back, you can go to jail for that because it shows that they were running away.
Wow, I didn't realize like all of the nuances of it.
Yeah, it gets very complex.
Yeah, but regardless of that, I think that they obviously should have done more in, identifying what drugs were in Galfie's fridge they didn't even look at or note in the trial, like, what the names were. They didn't test. I doubt they tested him for drugs in his system.
Yeah.
Either of their systems, I don't know. But they definitely should have had a rape kit and tested the drugs and just done more research or, instead of just being like, oh, this is a hitchhiker kind of acting crazy.
There should have been a lot more done by the police in this situation.
Yes. And then this is where I get into the questions of, would Kai have been treated the same way if he was a woman?
I don't think so.
Would the woman be in jail right now?
No, I don't think so.
No. Would Kai have been treated the same way if he wasn't homeless?
I don't think so.
Really? So if he was just like a random kid.
If he had money.
That had, well, not like a lot of money. Better attorney, that too. But what if he didn't have a better attorney, just a kid that wasn't like super rich?
I don't know.
I feel like they would have done more. They would have done more in the beginning. That at least in court he would have had a better chance because he would have had more evidence that it was.
Especially if he was rich.
Sexual assault. Would Kai have been treated the same way if he wasn't mentally ill?
I think he would have been treated better if he didn't have so many outbursts.
Yeah, but like the things that the judge said, it seemed like he knew he was gonna say that, right?
Yeah.
Would Kai have been treated the same way if the victim wasn't an attorney in New Jersey?
I don't think so.
So if the guy was, I don't know, what's like
I feel like
a
this
random
guy
job?
picked all of like the worst. Like he just got the worst hand.
Yeah. And would Kai have been treated differently or the same if he wasn't a immigrant or maybe illegal because he was from Canada? I don't think he had.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same. Like he just had the worst possible hand here. Yeah,
because he also was. I think I was on his Facebook blog. I'm a member. Actually, I'm not. Maybe I should join. We could write him a letter.
Yeah, we could.
We could be like, watch our podcast. Here's a shirt. Oh my god.
Oh, I don't know.
Justice for Kai.
Let's see the documentary.
Yeah, let's see the. Yeah, well, we know that it might not paint him in the. He's not even interviewed in it. How are you gonna?
They're probably gonna make him look like a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, that'd be part of their serial killer murder.
It's interesting how
shows.
two different people can look at the evidence and then have two completely different interpretations.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what comes of the documentary. Let me know in the comments if you watch it.
Let us know if you want us to write Kai a letter and send him a Cauldron Convos shirt.
Ooh, that's crazy. We should do a poll. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time here on Cauldron Convos, baby. Straight out of Dogtown.